Hey guys, welcome back to the next video. In this video, we are going to create a dynamic volume in terms of we are not going to define a volume in ahead of your container creation. We're going to do it dynamically while we create a container, and we are going to use an existing data into a volume. This example we have already seen on the previous video, so I'm just going to combine these two things together, and I'm going to give you a specific video on that. So to create a volume, we normally use Docker volume create, right? That's how we did it. But we're not going to do that right now. We are just going to use the Docker run-interactive. So this time around, I'm gonna do -d as in like I'm gonna detach this Docker terminal. Detach the Docker, and I'm gonna run it on the background. Name example 4 -v wall. Now do remember that this volume doesn't exist, as you can see on the screen. /app data nginx. All right, so now I have created this particular container, detached it, and it is running in a detached mode right now. So now what I'm going to do is like Docker ps-a. So now I have a container running with 80 port number. So I'm not going to use nginx feature right now in this video. So do not worry about the nginx feature not being used, or I didn't give -p in lowercase or capital case for that matter. Don't worry about all those things right now. Now, what I'm going to do is like, I am going to create another container named 4_1, example 4_1, with the same volume, with the same directory where I want to mount it, and it's going to be on nginx, the same image I'm using, and creating a different container. Now you can see that two of my containers are using the same volume. So if I run Docker volume ls, you can see one volume, but it is used or shared by two different resources. So if I give an inspect over here of volume, you can see that this is a local volume. You can see that it is something which is like a volume is name and the location of the volume, and all those details you can see in terms of inspecting the volume. Now let's inspect the container. Well, to inspect the container, you can just give Docker inspect example 4. Now when I give this, there's a lot of details comes in, but then scroll up until you see the mount. So you can see that the mounts. In the mounts area, you can see that it is a volume. What is the type of it? You can see the name of it, the location of the volume, where it is actually mounted to the destination. It's a local volume. And you can see it's a rewrite mode is true. By default it is. That's what I told you. So that's pretty much the default workings of your mount information in terms of your example 4. And example 4_1 will also have the similar output over here, because both are sharing the same volume. Let me clear the screen and just do a Docker ps-, or just ps, because both are running. So now you can see both the Dockers are running with the same exact volume. Now I'm going to jump into each of these volume, and I'm going to create a specific volumes. But then before I do that, I want to create one more container which is going to be created on the nginx, but then using mount option rather than using the v option, because I don't want to do justification to your mount as well. So Docker run -d -name example 4_2, as I've created already 1, so it's going to be 2, and then I'm giving -mount here equal to mount space type equal to volume, comma, and then I give the source equal to vol, just the name of my volume, target equal to /app/data nginx. The last slash you can give or you don't have to give, doesn't matter actually. So if you're just wondering why I sometimes give slash, sometimes I don't, because it doesn't really matter. So now I have 3 Docker containers running here. Now it is in my discretion that I can log in into any of this using Docker exec. The difference between exec and IT is that very simple. If I give IT, if I give run IT, then it's going to run in the interactive mode, which is going to get me a prompt. But then I cannot give run exec or exec IT. Okay, so because exec is anyway it's going to execute some command, and that command can be bin sh. So you don't have to really specify any other option at this moment. So you could just specify this, and then you can just say where you wanna which container you want to run. So I choose example 4. I want to execute, and what I want to execute, I want to execute bin bash. Sorry, I forgot to give IT, as I told you. So it's going to start an interactive session. If you don't give IT, as I told you earlier, it's not going to work. But then if you cannot actually associate IT with exec and run. So run cannot be executed with exec. So that's something which you should know. And if I give Docker exec IT and then the example 4, and then I give this bin bash, and you can see that it basically connects to my Linux system on the example 4 container, just having CentOS operating system running on it. So if I just go to app data, in the app data, I don't see any files. So I'm going to touch this host name over here. So I have a file created. So I'm just going to exit this. I'm going to go to 1 and then go to app data, touch the host name, exit. You can also do Control D in case if you want to exit. So go to the second one, go to app data, touch the host name, exit. Now if I just go to var lib docker volume vol underscore data, you can see all 3 different files which I've touched across different containers. There you go. So that's how you have to dynamically create your own volume and then have the container shared. That's what we have seen. To clean up, very simple, just go to your home folder, clear your screen, run docker ps, docker stop, and then give all the 3 names of your Docker container. And then go ahead, use the same command, remove stop, and then do rm. So if you try to remove your volume before you do this, for example, docker volume remove vol, you can see that obviously it won't let you do that because it says that there are certain containers which is using these volumes, and these are these containers over here. All right, so that's the ones which is using them. So I'm just going to give the same thing again. It's rm, remove the container, remove the volume, and you should be good with this. All right, there you go. You're all completed now. Thanks again for watching this video. I will see you on the next one.